The Coral Curse, the Reef of Shadows. Dr. Marina Hayes had spent her life studying the ocean's depths, chasing the mysteries that lurked beneath the surface. When she and her team of marine biologists received reports of a previously unknown coral reef in the uncharted waters of the South Pacific, it felt like the discovery of a lifetime. Satellite imagery showed a vibrant, pulsating ecosystem where no reef should exist, far from any known current that could support such life. From the moment they descended into the cerulean abyss, something felt off. The reef was unlike anything they had ever seen, corals that shimmered with iridescent hues of violet, emerald, and obsidian, and creatures that defied description. Jellyfish-like organisms pulsed with bioluminescent patterns, while eel-like beings slithered through the coral in hypnotic undulations. It was mesmerizing, alien, and entirely isolated from human contact. Marina, along with her team, Jasper, Lena, and Dr. Neil Carter, couldn't believe their eyes. The creatures moved with an unsettling intelligence, their glassy eyes reflecting the divers' every move. Yet, or quickly turned to unease. On the third day of their expedition, Jasper, normally the most level-headed of the group, started acting strangely. He spent long hours gazing at the coral, his eyes glazed over, his breathing shallow. At night, in the safety of the ship, he would mumble in his sleep, whispering words no one could understand. By the fifth day, he refused to leave the reef. "It's beautiful," Jasper said, his voice flat as he floated above the alien corals. "Don't you see it? It's calling us." "We need to get him out of the water," Neil said through clenched teeth, pulling at Jasper's arm, but Jasper resisted with a forceful jerk, nearly knocking Neil off balance. Marina, concerned but determined to continue the research, dismissed it as nitrogen narcosis or fatigue. But soon, the others began to feel the same pull. Lena, who had always been cautious, now spent hours studying the creatures in near silence, her focus entirely on them. Her eyes flicked nervously, as though the very corals themselves were whispering secrets to her. Each of them grew increasingly paranoid, the slightest noise or movement sending them into fits of panic. Aggression simmered beneath their interactions, subtle at first, sharp words, clenched fists, then outright confrontations. One evening, Lena accused Neil of sabotaging her equipment, her voice hysterical, as she slammed him against the bulkhead. Neil, who had always been calm and analytical, shoved her back with an anger none of them had seen before. By the sixth day, the shift in behavior was undeniable. Marina began to feel it too. Every time they descended into the water, the weight of the reef pressed on her mind. She found herself staring at the corals, entranced by their pulsating glow. She heard things, whispers at the edge of her consciousness, voices urging her to stay, to belong. It was as if the reef itself was alive, a malevolent presence lurking just beneath the surface, feeding on their emotions, twisting their thoughts. "We need to leave," Marina said one evening, her voice tight with fear. "This place is wrong." But it was too late. Jasper had gone missing that night, and despite their frantic search, there was no sign of him. His gear was still on board, untouched, as though he had walked into the sea and vanished. Neil and Lena were on edge, their eyes darting between each other and the water. They could feel it now, the way the creatures moved, the way the coral swayed as if breathing in unison with their thoughts. It wasn't natural. It was a trap. On the seventh day, Neil snapped. "They are inside our heads," he screamed, thrashing as he tried to cut through his oxygen tank, intent on diving back into the water without protection. "They are controlling us. We are nothing but prey." Marina tried to stop him, but he was too far gone, his mind consumed by the invisible pull of the reef. He broke free of her grip and dove headfirst into the water, disappearing into the shadows of the reef. His scream echoed through the ship's hull moments later, a sound of pure terror, then silence. Only Marina and Lena were left now, but the bond between them had fractured. Lena grew distant, barely speaking, her eyes hollow and sunken. She spent her time staring at the coral samples they'd brought aboard, her fingers tracing the delicate, alien patterns, as if they held some secret only she could unlock. One night, Marina awoke to the soft sound of whispering. She followed the sound to the deck, where Lena stood at the edge of the ship, gazing into the black water. "It's so clear now," Lena whispered, her voice devoid of emotion. "They are waiting for us. They've been waiting, forever." Before Marina could react, Lena stepped forward and plunged into the depths, vanishing without a trace. Marina stood frozen, her mind a storm of terror and fascination. She was alone now. Alone with the reef. It called to her, a relentless hum beneath her skin. She could feel the creatures, their alien intelligence pressing against her thoughts, feeding on her fear, her loneliness. The coral pulsed in the water beneath the ship, a heartbeat that matched her own, drawing her closer. She couldn't fight it anymore. The fear, the paranoia, the madness, it all faded away, replaced by a calm understanding. The reef wasn't just alive, it was sentient, ancient, and it thrived on human minds, their emotions feeding its growth, its power. The creatures, the coral, even the water itself, they were all part of a single, collective consciousness, one that had waited eons for new prey to arrive. As Marina stood at the edge of the ship, staring into the abyss, she realized the truth: the reef didn't just want their bodies. It wanted their souls. With a resigned breath, she stepped forward, plunging into the embrace of the alien reef. The last thing she felt was the cold water closing in around her, the coral wrapping itself around her body, its whispers filling her mind. And then there was only silence. If you found the haunting depths of the reef and its sinister secrets captivating, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more spine-chilling tales of the unknown. Turn on the notification bell so you'll never miss a tale from the abyss. Stay safe, and beware of what lurks beneath the waves.